My husband walked out on us on my daughter's 9th birthday. So, my husband was? Still feels weird saying that. Always my daughter's favorite parent. From the moment she could crawl, she followed him around like an eager puppy, even if he was just carving out parts for one of his dumb model airplanes. I tried molding Lily into a miniature me. Before she could speak, we'd burned through the entire Disney collection 6 times over, and I played those greatest princess hits albums on a loop, hoping she'd become a devoted fanatic. But as she grew, whenever Peter traveled for work, she'd refuse to sleep until he read her a story over the phone, and any time I was the only one who could attend her hockey games, she'd bawl her eyes out. Oh yeah, and she always curled up on the sofa with him, never me. There was nothing I could do about any of this, though, so I learned to live with being second place in my daughter's heart. But then, Peter and I started arguing. A simple question like, "Did you remember to get milk?" would morph into a brawl about our finances. We tried therapy and weekly dates and romantic getaways. Nothing worked. In the end, we agreed to put a pin in our relationship until after Lily's 9th birthday. For her sake, I told her we could go anywhere to celebrate, including Disney World. She said she wanted to fly planes with Dad. He'd promised her a new FXX something they were anxious to try. From the edge of the field, I watched them steer the drone around. There was a river nearby, and I remember thinking if I'd thrown myself in, nobody would have noticed. Back home, Peter put Lily to bed before disappearing into his study. I found him hunkered over another model, carving out the parts. He flicked off the lamp, spun around in his chair, and said he wanted a divorce. With the celebrations done, he didn't see any point continuing the charade. I was devastated. Not because I was losing him, but because of what it meant for my relationship with Lily. When we broke the news, who do you think she'd want to live with? I pictured myself dragging her away from Peter's new place every other weekend, kicking and screaming. Reacting on pure instinct, my hand shot forward, snatching the sculpting knife from Peter's hand. The rest is all a blur. Was Lily devastated by her father's disappearance? Of course. And at times I thought she'd never process those abandonment issues. But little by little, she started reaching out. Until eventually one night, she came downstairs wrapped in a blanket, her cheeks wet with tears, and asked what I was watching. I said, Aladdin. Then, I asked if she wanted to join me. She dropped onto the sofa, nested against my shoulder. And as I kissed her on the forehead, I felt all warm inside, because I knew I didn't have to settle with being the second favorite anymore.